So I've been thinking lately, since punishing-driven characters have basically a specific weapon type per character, what if they didn't? What if there's only 5 weapons they had to choose from, and all the characters had to go into one specific category? So I got a tier maker set up, and I figured I'd show you, go over the 5 weapons themselves. I decided on sword, two-handed weapon, spear, pistol, and drones, made to be intentionally vague to allow for all the characters, and then you realize as you go through why every character has their own weapon. Start off with the obvious. Most of the Lucias, do you get the standard sword, the one-handed sword? Crimson Weave though, I'm going to put in two-handed weapons since she wields the two-handed katana more than the dagger more. Then for Liv, picture that those guardian mounts could be classified as like a drone weapon, meant to be intentionally vague. So Liv Imperia, although she does use a staff, her main attack is like from the magic, so I would consider that more drone. And obviously Lee is the gun guy. Then for the Nanamis, Nanami Star Trail, well, the sword and shield that becomes next, but I think I'm just going to leave that as sword. And the rest of them go into two-handed weapons. Next up is the Kamui frames. They wield great swords, so we're going to go in there. And then we're going to take some creative liberties with the bazookas and the hammer. I'm going to call that a two-handed weapon. Next up we have the Bianca frames. And so the later two obviously use a single-handed sword. But now the ones with the bows, I think a bow can classify as pistol enough. Okay, so now Watanabe uses 2 daggers. There's 2 dagger frames. I think I'm gonna call that a sword. And with Watanabe, Epitaph uses a sword and a shotgun, and the main weapon, his 6-star, the main weapon they equip on him on is a sword, but I think I'm gonna put him pistol since he uses the gun for most of his abilities. Actually getting into the 3rd weapon type of the spear. Obviously, scythe, that's spear enough. Same thing with the length of that paintbrush. You know, Sophia's pistol, same with Lee. So this one uses a gun sword. Do I go for the gun or do I go for the sword? I think in this scenario he slashes with it a lot more, so I'm gonna call it that he's scythe. But for this one, I think I'm gonna classify him as sword. So this Vera, I forgot the name of it, but uses a single-handed sword just like the other early Lucias. Lucia obviously use spears. Same thing with Rosetta. Both the Rosetta frames, they both kind of use spears. And it's Cheng Hu. He punches people to death, and I don't know what to really call that in here. I'm just gonna say it's a drone and he's drawing his fist into them. The Uniframe Ku uses a spear. The Ku Shukra uses the single-hand sword. So now for Luna, this one I'm gonna call her space daggers a drone, and as well as her space chakra thing, or the space ring. Like, I'm gonna call that a drone since it's extra part of the body. These two, they use pistols for most of their movesets, so I'm gonna put them in there. Then for the Selena frames, they use instruments, but I think overall they use swords. At least in parts of it, or at least I'm gonna call them swords. Now for the number 21 frames. Obviously this one's a drone. The original one's a drone, it's a buddy. But for feral, could go either way since it uses claws. And I think I'd have to classify that as a drone in this scenario for the same reason as Cheng Hu. Okay, so now obviously this guy Roland uses pistol and whip, so he goes on the pistol. Pulao uses a flying greatsword, so I'm gonna put that into two-handed weapon. Now Hikama uses a scythe. I'm gonna put that with all the other scythe people in the spear. He I forgot his name, but he uses a sword. So now the marionette one. She has little daggers on her arms, but overall she plays like a puppet on a string. So I think that might put her into drone. Drone is kind of I don't know what to put them in. Same thing with the hanging, the fan. I don't know what to put the fan in, so I'm just gonna put it in drone called J. So now the hanging self-student uses her actual hairpins as like sort of daggers used in her ultimate, as well as the instrument. So I might put her into sword. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, and it's Noctis using this because Chengyu is in there. And there's Alyssa, who's also gonna go into pistol for some reason. The early Bianca frames are in there. Lamia uses a spear, so she's going spear. So now both of the Teddy frames uses their headphones and their boots. It's combat. I think I'm gonna put that in drone for the same reason as Chenghu and Noctis. And Bridget, she uses a shield that goes in half. I think I can make that work. If like, I'll call that a two-handed weapon. And for Yata, she has a backpack with arms. I think that's most obviously a drone. She mainly uses a key, but she mainly uses magic, so I'm also gonna call that a drone. And it's Lilith the Demonessa. Uses an umbrella. Umbrella and cards. Umbrella is just a fancy spear. Okay, so now Jitavi, she uses a pistol and a sword, or a pistol that turns into a sword. Her default item is a pistol, so I think I'll put her in pistol. Then Discord uses a pair of scissors, of comically large scissors. I'm gonna put her in the two-handed weapon. So that's Veronica. Veronica uses a big spear, and then it's the collab frames. 2B uses two swords, but her ultimate is with the big one, so I'm gonna put her into a two-handed weapon. A2 uses a spear in the collab frame, so I'm gonna put her into spear. And 9S uses single-handed sword. Blackrock Shooter, Martyrs it's a bazooka similar to the Karen unit frame, so I'll put her in the two-handed weapon. And then Dante and Virgil. Virgil's going into two-handed weapon for the katana in the same way that Alpha is, and Dante's going to single-handed weapon. So I think that's basically it. That's my thoughts on if punishing Grey Raven characters could only have 5 weapon types. This is what I give them, or these are the weapon types. If you want to discuss in the comments, we can. But yeah, with that, I bid you farewell.